This is a tentative list of cue cards from September 2021 to December 2021. Make it sure that you do it properly before appearing for the exam. Please subscribe Target 7 and like this video. 1. Describe a time you got up early. You should say, when was it? Why did you get up early? What did you do after getting up? How did you feel about it? 2. Describe a bag you want to own. You should say, what kind of bag it is, where you want to buy it, how much it will cost you. We want this kind of bag. 3. Describe a live sports match that you have watched. You should say, what it was, when you watched it, what it was like, and how you felt about it. 4. Describe your favorite singer. You should say, how do you know this singer? What this person is like. Do you think she is good? 5. Describe a habit your friend has and you want to develop. You should say, why your friend is, what habit she has, when you noticed this habit, and explain why you want to develop this habit. 6. Describe a puzzle you have played. You should say, what it is like, how easy or difficult it is, how long it takes you to solve it, and how you feel about it. 7. Describe a town or city where you would like to live in the future. You should say, where it is, how you know about it, what is it famous for, and why would you like to live there. 8. Describe an occasion when you were not allowed to use your mobile phone. You should say, when it was, where it was, you were not allowed to use your mobile phone, how you felt about it. 9. Describe a foreign person who you have heard or known that you think is interesting. You should say, what person is, how do you know him or what kind of person she is, and explain why you think she is interesting. 10. Describe a piece of local news that people are interested in. You should say, what it was about, where you heard it, what was involved, and explain why people were interested in it. 11. Describe an activity that you do after school work. You should say, what it is, how and where you do it, what you do it with, and how you feel about it. 12. Describe a law on environmental protection. You should say, what it is, how you first learned about it, what benefits from it, and explain how you feel about this law. 13. Describe an activity that you do after school work. You should say, what it is, how and where you do it, what you do it with, and how you feel about it. 14. Describe an aquatic animal. You should say, what it looks like, when you saw it, where you saw it. Explain why it is interesting. 15. Describe a natural talent you want to improve like sports music. You should say, what it is, when you discovered it, how you want to improve it, and how you feel about it. 16. Describe your first day at school. You should say, where it was, what happened, explain how you felt on that day. 17. Describe a time you made a promise to someone. You should say, whom did you make the promise to, what the promise was, why you made the promise, was the promise easy to achieve. 18. Describe a tall building in your city you like or dislike. You should say, where it is, what it is used for, how it looks like, and explain why you like or dislike it. 19. Describe a businessman you admire. You should say, well, this person is. How do you know this person? What kind of business this person does? Why do you admire this person? 20. Describe a time you got lost in a place you didn't know about. You should say, when did it happen? Who was with you? What did you do? How you felt about it. 21. Describe an art or craft activity that you had at school. You should say, what you made. How you made it. What it looked like. And how you felt about this activity. 22. Describe an occasion when many people were smiling. You should say, when it happened. Who you were with. What happened. And explain why many people were smiling. 23. Describe an art exhibition that you visited. You should say, when you saw this exhibition. How the exhibition was held. What was on display. And explain your impression of the exhibition. 24. Describe a skill that you can teach other people. You should say, what it is. How you learned it. How can you teach others this skill? How do you feel about this skill? 25. Describe a time you saw something interesting on social media. You should say, when it was, where you saw it, what you saw, and explain why you think it was interesting.